Good morning, welcome to Phil's Camping Reviews. My name is Phil. Got another product here that a company has sent to me. As you've known, I've done a few videos on diesel heaters, and boy, what can I say, guys? What a game changer diesel heaters are. Believe me, guys, if you're remotely interested in doing any type of winter camping, like who isn't, it's always say to me it's easier to get warmer than it is to cool down, particularly energy efficient wise, especially when you're camping off grid, because we got the advantage of these little units here called diesel heaters that, as the name suggests, runs on diesel and uses up very little of your battery power. So a company contacted me recently and asked, Phil, are you interested in having a look at our diesel heaters? We've been in the market for 5 years, and both throughout Europe and the UK. And I had a look, they sent me the specifications, the link to it, and I had a look and I thought, yeah, this looks pretty good. I think this will do really good in the Australian market. So they kindly sent me one for free, guys. So here we are, here it is. Now they gave me a choice, I'll mention who they are shortly. They gave me the choice, do I want a 2 kilowatt or a 5 kilowatt unit? So I went for a 2 kilowatt because the other two that I got are both 5 kilowatts. Because, guys, I plan to fit this into a caravan. That's right, it's a caravan. Now the caravan in particular, more about it in the near future. This caravan in particular is quite a largish van, and they've actually got, the owner of the van purchased a cheap, like $130 eBay at 5 kilowatt diesel heater, and he's been away for the last couple of months in some really extreme cold weather, and he says, Phil, this thing is too hot. This is too hot. We cannot keep it on for more than 15 minutes before we melt inside. So even though it's got like what they call, like in AUFocus calls it a air conditioner mode, where you set the temperature, say at 24, and then it's supposed to recycle and keeps it at that temperature. Well, for whatever reason, this brand that they purchased, these cheap eBay ones, where a lot of people swear by, just totally failed miserably on that aspect of it. So it just didn't work for them. And I said, guys, well, just hold on, guys. Might be able to help you out with that. So this is going to go in there. But today we're going to do an unboxing video on this and show you what we've got. So what do we have here is, now I hope I pronounce this correctly, guys. It is a Lavaner, okay, a Lavaner. All right, L-A-V-A-N-A-R. So that's what this one's called. Let me just bring it up. Okay, here's just a short extract of an email that they sent me. Hi, Phil's Camping and Touring. We are Lavaner, L-A-V-A-N-E-R. Again, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Diesel heater. Have been in the UK and US market for 5 years. We are a very good reputation brand, and you can find lots of positive review on Facebook and YouTube. I've noticed that you made a great review about the AUFocus and so on. So yeah, so that's basically how they first approached me. So naturally I went and checked on the YouTube reviews, etc. and so on, and had a look, and it looks quite good. I'm quite impressed. So Lavaner have gone a step above these cheap Chinese ones. Okay, first on the outset, they use a brushless motor. Now a brushless motor is going to give you a long life. So yeah, now this is going to cost more than your cheap eBay ones, okay, but this is also going to outlast significantly the eBay ones. So to be honest, why would you want to spend the effort and the time crawling under your van, camper van, your truck, whatever you want to install this in, and crawling up, drilling holes, adding pipes, etc. And to be honest, these cheap eBay ones, it's one of the first things you have to do with them is to replace the fuel tank that comes with them, all the fuel lines, because they're not UV resistant. Here in Australia, we have high UV content. So, guys, now, to be fair, they don't supply you a tank, alright? This company doesn't supply you a tank. And there's a very good reason for that, and as we're doing the unboxing, I shall show you why. Now, you might remember that when I installed my AUFocus, that I actually eventually I eliminated using the supplied tank that they sent, because to be honest, I found the quality of their stainless steel tank to be very inferior. Now, I have recently heard that AUFocus have rectified this issue, but I'm the high belief that these plastic tanks like you use for your fuel, for your mowers, your 5 litre jerry cans, the ideal, the 10 litre, 5, 10 or 20 litre, in my case I use a 20 litre, are perfect for diesel heaters, particularly when you've got the facility to carry these, these fuel cans on your caravan, camper trailer, whatever. And to be fair, they are built that way. They are built to carry your jerry cans. So, without further ado, let's go through and have a look. So, this is a Lavaner Pro 2 kilowatt, also available in the 5 kilowatt. As I mentioned, brushless motor, so it's going to outlast the majority of your units out there. And also, not only that, it's got a quality Kyocera Japanese glow plug, which are the best on the market. So this starts out with the best of basically everything. Now, this is going to be an unboxing video. I did, prior to this unboxing video, open the box up and had a quick look, because I wanted a bit of an idea of what's in here. And to be frank, I'm actually quite impressed with what these guys are supplying. A lot of the issues I've seen, even with the first two, is the lack of these type of joiner connections. Now you wait and see how many of these are in this unit. So you've got a T-piece here. There's one of the exhaust. This will be either for your exhaust output that goes from the diesel heater into your van, camper trailer, truck, van, whatever you happen to be using. And there's also another one for the intake. So you can see these just fits perfectly over the top, and it comes with all the clamps that you need. To think hard about that. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm a bit lacking space here, so I'm just going to move this box off to the side here. So just bear with me. As you can see, it's not too heavy. well packaged. So this is, you get 2 of these, I believe. These can also be extended, I believe. No, this one's rigid. Okay, I've seen some that can to some extent it can be extended. There's a, now next thing I see is a very good manual. Installation, operation and maintenance instructions. So it's got everything in here. It's got your product information, its introduction, your cautions, etc. A exploded view, okay, as you can see, which is very important. This helps to put these together. Now I will show you on how you install these in a caravan, and I will do a comparison with it against the cheap eBay one as well. So that'll be coming up in a future video. Now the power watts is 2000 watts. Okay, heating medium, air, fuel consumption is around about 0.28 to 0.1 litre per hour. I find these diesel heaters are usually a lot more efficient than what they show in the documentation, especially if you run them in your aircon mode as such. So it's similar to an air, when I say aircon mode, it's similar to your air conditioner as such. So what that means is that you set a temperature 24, it'll reach that temperature 24, and then usually when it drops down, in the case of the AUFocus, I'm not too sure with this one here, I'm going to check all this, but in case of the AUFocus that's in my camper van, it drops down 3 degrees below that. Once it reaches 3 degrees below that, it will start up again and heats to 24, and then keeps going and doing that. So, and it does a very, very good job at it. So I find, even though it can be as cold, very cold, icicles hanging down outside your vehicle, yes, I have been camping in conditions like that where there's icicles, and inside a camper trailer, okay, where half of it is canvas, even in that environment, I find that it still cycles on and off, on and off. So it tends to last quite a long time, your diesel. So hence why I say they are very, very efficient. So weight 2.7 kilos, heater airflow rate 105 without counter pressure kg an hour, whereas the 5 kilowatt is 185. So there's quite a fair bit of difference in that. Now you might think, hey Phil, you just mentioned that you know, it's got an aircon mode. Why can I just not get the big one and just have it run, you know, wouldn't it heat up the area a lot quicker, and then when it sets that temperature, then it switches off and then starts up and heats up again quickly? Well, yeah, in some aspects, yeah. Except for those cheap eBay ones, as my mate found out recently, that just doesn't seem to work that way for whatever reason, I don't know why. You generally get what you pay for, don't you? Now, I'm not saying that they're all bad, they're pretty good, you know, if you want to just get the right size one and just run it flat out or something, they're going to be fine. But that's the thing, these things are designed to be run flat out. If you don't, they're going to build up with carbon, and eventually you'll go camping next season, and if I turn it on, and you'll find there's a heap of white smoke billowing everywhere and you're not getting any heat. Then you got to crawl underneath or whatever, wherever your diesel heater is, you have to pull it out, pull it apart and give it a good clean, because it is blocked with combustion. It's blocked with soot, shall I say. So you have to run these really hard so they don't build up the heat. So that's why it's important that you get appropriately sized for the size of your vehicle, your camper trailer, caravan, whatever you're using. So majority out use the 2 kilowatts going to be ideal, because well, number one, the 2 kilowatt does use less power. They are in some respects more quiet. Okay, we'll find out when we do the tests. And also they are more efficient, and also for that reason, because they're a smaller unit, you tend to run them at their ideal, you know, what they're designed to run at, and you're going to have a lot less, in fact no chance of building up that combustion inside your unit. And then you come to the next season and you'll turn it on and it'll work just fine, no problems at all. So it's very important that you take that in account when you're sizing a diesel heater for your vehicle. Now, in the installation manual, it's going through suggesting where to install. These can be installed inside your vans, work trucks, inside your semi-trailers and that. In fact, throughout Europe and now throughout the United States, these are predominantly used inside work vehicles as such, so that way, you know, you've got a truckie who lives on the road, is driving. Sure, you've got your heater when you're driving along, but then they'll pull up and it's extreme cold there, particularly throughout Europe in winter, how cold it gets there. They can't run their truck to get their diesel, you know, to get the heater going, so then they just turn the truck off, run the diesel heater, and it just gets plumbed directly straight off their diesel tank. Hence why in this case a lot of these ones available in throughout Europe and the US don't come with tanks as such, like you see in Australia here. So here's all your installation diagrams. It explains the pump, what angle you're going to, but guys, we will run through this in the future when I do the installation. So right now we've got another box here. Let's quickly have a look and see what's in here. Okay, kindly enough to provide a template. So that's your template, the size of the hole that you have to drill through your floor to get the pipe through. We have a parts list. So good on you guys for supplying a parts list to make sure everything's here. We have a declaration of conformity, manufacturer, etc. Alright. Air parking heater, heating up the vehicle cabin such as a camper van, providing the hot air, comfortable usage in the tent when out in or the workshop when working, identification of product, etc. That must be an EU standard that they must adhere to. Right, here we got some more pipes. Check all this out. Not only, I showed you that big longer one, we've got two shorter ones here as well. There's the exhaust pipe. What I also notice is they supply you with a heat shield. Okay, that's like a fiberglass type, or I'm not sure what they call that. There's like a heat shield in there. So that goes over the pipe like so it protects it. I think that's brilliant. Most, if not all the other brands do not supply that. Now we also have the intake for your air filter. Alright, and also there's your, that there is your fuel filter, quite substantial size, easy to pull apart and clean. As you can see, we've got all the proper fastenings there. These are all the good ones. Okay, these are really good double clamps, strong clamps on them, unlike your cheap eBay ones. Now we've also, remember I mentioned before about all the different accessories and plugs, and look at this. We've got an elbow there, we've got another elbow here. We've got inputs and outputs galore. There's another one here, and all these are adjustable. You can turn them and face them in different directions. There's another one here. I have not seen a kit that's got so many options. Look at this. So not only can, in this kit, can you just, there's even more here, guys. I kid you not, I can't even hold them, there's that many. Look, there's another one here. It's amazing. Like I said, it's incredible. Like I said, not only can you just have one outlet on this, you could have more than one outlet on this one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different, and 3 pipes there. This is the air filter. Now, one thing I noticed straight away, a lot of the diesel heaters out there are supplied with similar air filters as this. But what a lot of you don't notice is that there's no filter inside them. All it is just this housing with no filter in it. So that allows all the contamination to go into your diesel heater. This one here, it appears from what I can see, yes it does. It does. It's got a proper filter inside there, as you can notice. And if you see the white. So there is a proper filter in there. So again, help on the longevity. Now, let's go to the remote. This is the control, alright? So it's not as big as some of the others out there, but to be honest, some of those other ones out there are very complicated to use. This one's a lot easier to use. This also is similar remote that are supplied with the ones that are sold in Australia for in excess of $3,000. This is what they use. So you get the similar remote. As you can see, it's also got a Bluetooth remote underneath there. Very good quality one. Okay, this is not a cheap knockoff or anything. This one is quite substantial. This is a similar quality as my car keys. So it's easy enough. It's got an on-off button on there, and it's got an up and down button to control your heat. Now, how simple is that? So this is a very simple unit to use. It's not complicated like some of the others out there. You get a comprehensive manual on how to use this as well. Now, I don't believe, I've seen no evidence that this is capable of connecting via Bluetooth to your phone. So there's no app for this one. Okay, so what else we got here? We got the complete full wiring harness already connected. Everything's here. Check out the very mighty impressive fuse box in there. Waterproof connectors, the whole lot. All you have to do is basically just terminate onto your battery. It's got the fuses, everything. Plug everything in their corresponding plugs and you're ready to go. Very, very simple installation. You don't have to spend any money on the wiring. It's all here. It's all perfectly sealed up as well in some very strong tape. But I suggest any of the wiring that's under the vehicle, that suggests like the one that goes to the fuel pump, add that inside some conduit. So ready made. Muffler with baffles inside. Quite a decent muffler. You feel the weight in that. And that's another thing. A lot of these mufflers out there, if you look inside, they got nothing in them. Like a car, conventional muffler in a car. If you have a look, they've got a series of buffles inside and ceramic material, etc. inside them to reduce the noise. These are the same. So looking at this is going to be a very quiet unit. It's got a very, very good muffler in this one. I'm quite impressed with that. Spare parts. They supply you with spare parts, spare fuel filters and spare gaskets, etc. So if you ever should need to pull it apart to clean it. Now, we have the fuel line. Okay, this is basically, this is for your input out of your fuel tank. So if you've got a 20 litre container, you just straighten this out so it reaches the bottom. The ideal is to have it set up so it's about 1 inch above from the base of your fuel tank. If you've got like a 5 litre container, you know, just bend it in such a way so that, you know, this here, the intake, is about 1 inch off the base. So that's that one there. We also, they even supply you cable ties. We got a bag of good quality, looks like stainless steel bolts and nuts, etc. Another bag here with good quality clamps. They're very heavy duty. Another bag here of screws. And we got the fuel pump. So now I can feel straight away that this is a substantial fuel pump. There's quite a bit of weight in that. So excellent. And notice it's got the vibration dampener mount for it as well. So we were going to test this. Hose clamps. And last but not least, good quality fuel lines. These are very good quality fuel line here. You will never have to spend any money to upgrade this. And we also have the mounting plate. Alright, it goes on the base and we'll show you how that is installed. So let me put this stuff back in here. And last but not least, the last product to look at is going to be, just bear with me guys, I've got no idea how I'm going to fit all this back in here. Here is the bees resistance. The diesel heater itself. So see the main plug there. Now I won't. Wow, that's just how much more compact it is over the. It's quite amazing. What have we got here? Oh, a lot of the times, this is a nice surprise. Oh, a lot of the times, including my AUFocus, as much as I spent on that, it did not come with this adapter. So you guys that are providing this adapter, wow, this is so much better than only just using that flat plate. So this is basically under your van or camper trailer, gets mounted up like so, and you got this flange that helps protect, so you've got the air intake and your exhaust that comes out through this way, and this helps protect it and seals it up as well. Much better protection. Mounting holes, this is a good quality heavy duty one. So awesome guys for supplying that. Here a lot of these in Australia, you actually have to pay quite substantial money extra to get these, and I always suggest to use those. So that is a nice little surprise. And this is the diesel heater itself. Okay, so we all know what a diesel heater looks like, so there's no point me taking this out and showing you. So what we're going to do in the near future now is I'm going to show you an installation video on how to install this into a caravan. So guys, till next time, cheers and thanks for watching. Bye.